Hi, this is a quick video to take you through some of the changes that we've got coming in version 4.1 of the product. We've got changes to depth and sales, summary tape and recon tape. What I'd like to do first is just discuss a change that we've made on the synchronization of the refreshing of the snapshot. Okay, so as you know, the snapshot shows me how many contracts have been pulled or added since we moved to this level. But we've also got another field called the current trades, which shows me how many contracts have hit into this level. Now, one of the issues with the existing product is that the current trades don't get refreshed if we leave an area just for a brief period of time and then come back to it, because we kind of consider it didn't really leave. But the bid and offer, inside bid and offer, always refreshes, or it did always refresh. So let's just go through this example. So what we can see here, I've got 1800 on the offer, 0 contracts traded. Then I have 500 contracts traded. So obviously my inside offer now has gone down to 1300, and there's no snapshot, there's no contracts being added or subtracted. It's just we've traded away 500 contracts. The next picture, we've got 2,000 contracts traded and 500 left. Now what we saw originally, we had an original quantity of 1,800. Now to trade 2,000 against that 1,800 and still have 500 left, we must have had added 700 contracts. So the snapshot there is showing us that we've added 700 contracts. Now let's just say we tick up. So we're going to tick up to 48.75 and we trade 50 contracts there. Now to tick up, we actually traded the remainder of this 500. So we traded the other 500, ticked up to 1150, and now we're going to tick down again. Now this is where we have a difference between the two sets of software. So when we tick down, if we only just jump up here for like half a second and come back, we don't really consider ourselves to have left the level. It's very often for an iceberg to break, because they're just keeping the amount displayed low, and we kind of break through it and then they refresh again, then we pop back down, and that's what this does. That's why we keep this current trade value here. So before 4.1, what we would see at this point when we tick back down is we'd see 2,500 here, because it's the 2,500 contracts we traded before and we've only left for a small amount of time. But let's just say the new inside offer is 200. What it would then calculate, it would say that 2,300 contracts have been added. Now that's not actually true. 2,300 contracts haven't been added. It's just calculating that based on this initial quantity. And one of the customers pointed this out to us, and I've known about this for a while, and kind of, yeah, it wasn't a huge issue really, because you can actually see it going on. But it was something we needed to address because of some of the other changes. So after 4.1, what we're going to see is this. We're going to see the 2,500 there, and we're going to see the 200 here. But what we're actually going to see is 900 here. And so what it's saying is that 900 contracts have been added, and we can actually see 700 contracts were added at this point, plus we've got the new 200 here that have been added to the bid as we came down, and we can see 900. And that's giving us a truer picture of what's actually gone on at the level. So effectively what we've done is we had a timer that said, you know, and it's an adjustable time that you can adjust yourself, a time that said, okay, if I leave an area for this amount of time or less, I'm going to clear the value. If not, if I leave it for this amount of time or less, I'm not going to clear the value when I come back, otherwise I will clear the value when I come back. Well, it's basically doing the same thing for the offers and the bids now. Although it's not the actual bid and offer amount that it's remembering, it's actually the initial value we had at the bid, okay, which was, as you remember, the 1,800. So that's the first change. If there's any questions about that, perhaps we can start a thread on the forum. What I'll do now is just get into some of the product changes that we can actually see quite easily. Okay, so we've got two depth and sales here. I've actually got a live version on the right here and the sim version on the left. One of the first things we changed on this is a homage to John Grady at No BS Day Trading. He's been using a certain set of colors that a lot of people seem to like. So what we've actually done in here, we've actually created, if I can find it, a No BS display scheme. So when you install this, you will get this No BS display scheme. And basically what it does, it handles the highlighting a bit differently. So we get this kind of salmon color. If the last traded price was a sell market order, we get this chartreuse when it was a buy market order. So I think I've captured the colors that John uses. But anyway, that's for a lot of people said, how can I set it up like John? And now you just have to go and choose the display scheme. One of the problems I had with the depth and sales on a full screen display, I found that the default position for the trade window would sometimes be off on a different screen. So what we've done now is we've changed the default position of the display window so that it kind of appears over the depth and sales. Obviously you can move it, change it, and then when you refresh it will remember your new position. So just in case you kind of wondered why it was doing that, we've actually changed that on purpose, because some people were saying, I've opened the trading window and I can't see where it is, it's not opening because it's opening on a different screen. This is one from a customer that Don pointed out. In the live version, as you know, we set the auto center. We have a maximum auto center ticks of 15 on the live version. One of the things Don pointed out was if we're not trading for the dome, it's probably not necessary to do that. So basically on the sim version, we don't have that restriction. So we don't care with the sim version whether you've got static dome credits or not, because you're not actually using it to trade from. So that'll help a lot of you that aren't trading live yet. Okay, so this next feature has been requested by quite a few people. A lot of people say that they're more visual and would like some kind of visual representation of what we see in the depth as well as in the snapshot. So let me just show you what we've done there. What we've done, we've actually put some histograms in the alert column. The first one is a snapshot histogram. You can have it left or right. Now basically this is a small histogram. It only takes a third of the row height, and it's red and blue. Now red means contracts have been pulled, blue means contracts have been added, so it's nothing to do with buy and sell. Okay, so what we can actually see here, we can actually see that at this level we've had the most contracts changed, the most contracts pulled. So basically on the offer side we've got mostly pulling and we've got a little bit of stacking on the bid side. So obviously this is a slow market right now. It's a 6E, it's like 10:40 p.m. Eastern time, not a lot going on. Now what we can also do, we can overlay that with another histogram which is showing the depth, okay, and we can see the bid depth here, the offer depth here. Now what we can also do with these, because we're using the same fields, we can actually adjust the transparency so that we can actually see we can see the text underneath, we can see the colors, and of course you can change your own colors if you want to use black and white for pulling and pulling and stacking instead of red and blue. So there's the histograms. Seems to me it works better on thinner markets. 6E it works well, CLX works well. For me on the ES, this isn't something I use, but it's something you guys have requested, so please enjoy using that feature, and if you can give me some feedback as well, if you think this needs tweaking in any way, then please do that. Now one of the other things we've also done is we've adjusted the highlighting. So this is really more for people scalping or using scalp techniques to enter. A lot of people focus just on the what's going through and not so much on the depth. What we're doing at the moment, we highlight the inside bid and offer, and we've got an alternative to that now. What we can actually do is we can set the ask depth, we can highlight large asks, and I guess this is overnight, so let's just put maybe 300, and we can go to the bid depth and highlight large bids, 300. Okay, now when we do that, there's that 300 there, there's a 300 there, let me just see what I've done wrong there. bid depth, large bid 3. Okay, it's coming now. Right, so when we do that, we can see first thing, we don't get the highlighting at the inside, but what we do get is the highlighting. Any number above 300 will be highlighted. And so if you're scalping and you're actually looking for spoof orders, maybe you want to use something like 1800, 2000 on the ES to show you where the large orders are. This is really, really useful. So this is a feature. You know, the histograms, personally, I can take them or leave them. The highlighting, this is something, yeah, absolutely, I use every day. Now, what we also had, just a small feature, one of the things that we had before an issue with the product was if you removed some columns, so let's say I removed the current trade column, then the snapshot wouldn't work. And that was just down to some kind of lazy coding that we'd done. So basically we've changed that now. So, you know, even if, you know, if you're using the histograms, for instance, even if you use the histograms and these, you know, the snapshot column's not there, the current trades column's not there, all the histograms will still work. Okay, so we have quite a few people out there using the NT Direct version of Ninja. And we also have some people don't have access to ATM strategies, and we have some people using ATM strategies that have asked why doesn't it reduce those ATM strategy orders when we exit. So what we've done, we've added in a new tab on here, trading tab, and we've got a flag, close outstanding orders when position is closed. So basically what that will do is when your position goes flat, it will look to see if you've got any orders for that instrument and close them. And let's just see that in action. I mean, especially useful if you're a crude trader and you might have an order all the way down there that you forget about. You know, you might get a fill overnight, which is never nice. So let's just do a buy market order. Let's just put 8 out there. And what I might do is just put an exit here and an exit here, and I actually might just say, okay, let's put a couple of exits, couple of stars. Sorry, exits are going to be sell orders, aren't they? So let's put 5, and let's put 3 there, and then let's put 8 down here. Okay, so now what will happen? If I close this position, you know, with an OCO, if this was an OCO, when this got filled, these would cancel. But we don't have an OCO. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a sell mark, a limit order to sell here for the 8. And you see what happened when the 8 got filled, it automatically removed all the other orders, and of course our order that was down here has gone as well. And again, this is a feature that I think is really neat. And we came to that just a discussion with the customer who was using ATM strategies. Now we've also fixed some issues. If you're using crude oil on a Myris account, there were some issues. There were certain prices you couldn't click on orders. We've fixed that. Another thing we've added for ESignal is we've got ESignal equity mode. Now for some reason ESignal reports trades in units, but it reports depth in lots. So basically, you know, the depth was effectively 100th of the trades. So with the ESignal equity mode on, it actually just multiplies the depth by 100. It doesn't do anything clever. But if you are using ESignal and you are trading equities, then you will need to set that on. Okay. The next change is on the reconstructed tape. And what we've got here on the reconstructed tape, we've got an option that says use tick up, tick down coloring. And we can see one where we've got the tick up, tick down coloring here, and one that's coloring by @bid or @ask. So basically what it'll do with the tick up, tick down coloring, it'll color ticks up green and it'll color ticks down red by default. Whereas the standard mode is to color a trade that hits the offer green and a trade that hits the bid as red. And again, that was a customer request. Again, it's something I don't really understand how it will be used. If any of you are interested, I'm sure the guy inside will be more than happy on the forum to give you an overview of how he uses this. Next change is on the summary tape. Okay, so one of the customers sent some comments about the summary tape depth, about the depth that was actually being displayed on here when we left. Now, what it was doing before, it was only updating the depth that we can see here in parentheses. It was only updating that when a trade came through. So we've changed that now, so it does actually keep updating the depth. As you can see, the depth here is still rolling. It does update the inside bid offer quantity as you're watching it. So for the people who use the summary tape depth, that's quite a significant change. I'm hoping that will help a lot. So that is all of the changes in 4.1. It's currently gone off for packaging. There will be an email out when it is released. I do apologize if I've been a bit slow and slurred on this video, but I've got a bad back. Threw my back out in the gym, and I'm on pain meds, and that does tend to slow me down a bit. I'm certainly not going to trade until I'm off them. So good luck all, and I appreciate any feedback you've got on the version 4.1. Good luck. Bye.